A little shallow cross. All right, down goes Carter. Geno Stone doesn't want it. All right, DJ Turner, bam.
The Pittsburgh Steelers offense and defense absolutely destroyed the Cincinnati Bengals yesterday, 34-12, and this is the real reason why. So, this breakdown, it was done by Brian Baldwinger. Baldy NFL is his handle on X. Go ahead and check him out. Does a great job breaking down NFL games and film on players, and also, he's a former NFL player. So, go follow him, and also subscribe to this channel for more highlights and analysis just like this. Now, let's get right into the breakdown.
It's getting to the point when Darnell Washington is on the field, you can't stop watching him. Doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. Like if he just wants to run a little tight end delay right here, he's going to do something with the ball. Maybe just jump over two defenders right there. Maybe you're just going to do something like this, or you're just going to run this crossing route, and you just have to watch. A little shallow cross. All right, down goes Carter. Geno Stone doesn't want it. All right, DJ Turner, bam. It's just the Incredible Hulk out there playing. You see him in the run game right here, and he's just going to take defensive ends right here and just finish them. Just make him eat some grass seed there at Acrisure Stadium. Darnell Washington is the Hulk. He's becoming the Incredible Hulk, and you got to watch him like it's primetime television. Well, it's gotten to the point where you can't take Nick Herbig off the field. He started Sunday. He leads the Steelers in sacks, forced fumbles. You watch him turn the corner here. Watch him bend at 7 yards right here, untouched, just ghosting the left tackle. At 7 yards, he's got that bend going, right? Now, once he gets that foot pointing toward the quarterback, flatten and take down Flacco. All right? He played the most snaps of any defensive lineman. And then the celebration is on. On Wisconsin right there. Benton, Watt, Herbig. Yeah. That guy right there, you can't take him off the field.
So, Brian Baldwinger is 100% correct in both of his analysis of the Steelers' offense and defense. You cannot take Darnell Washington off the field for the offense without bad things happening, and you can't take Nick Herbig off the field for the defense without bad things happening. With those two people on the field, the Pittsburgh Steelers have a recipe for success. Whenever Darnell Washington plays more than 40 snaps in a game, the Pittsburgh Steelers have a perfect record of 9-0 in his career. And Nick Herbig, every time he takes over for Alex Highsmith when he goes down with injury, or whenever he's on the field, good things happen. That's why he leads the team in sacks and forced fumbles. So, once again, versus the Cincinnati Bengals yesterday, Darnell Washington played more than 40 snaps. The Steelers won the game, and it was a blowout. And once again, Nick Herbig starts, and the Steelers win the game. So those two are a recipe for success. But more than just that, the Pittsburgh Steelers just dominated the Cincinnati Bengals in all facets of the game. You look at the offense, they put up, 34 points. You look at the defense, and they held the Cincinnati Bengals team to only 12. So the Steelers dominated both on offense and defense. And also, their special teams kicked in a little bit in terms of just the field goal game and the punting game. But let's talk about the offense, because what was the recipe for the Steelers? Why did they do so good? Well, they just utilized the running backs a lot. And that's what we've been waiting for in terms of the running game and the passing game. You let Jaylen Warren get 10 carries for 62 yards, and that's 6.2 yards per pop. So the offense line was able to create some holes in the run game. But not even just that. Mason Rudolph and Aaron Rodgers, both those players did well. They each have one touchdown, and their completion percentage was really high because they were taking all the dump-offs that the Cincinnati Bengals left for them. Whether that was the running back in Kenneth Gainwell, who put up 2 touchdowns through the air and 81 yards on 7 receptions. That's a lot of receptions for running back. Led the team in receptions. The Steelers were just taking what the defense was giving them. Dump-offs to Gainwell, dump-offs to Darnell Washington, and those players were able to run long. And when the Steelers are able to do that, that is a recipe for success. They didn't really have the air yards in terms of throwing it deep down the field, 20 plus yards, and having catches like that. No, those are going to come at different times. But in order to win games, sometimes it's not just all that. Sometimes you have to just take what the defense gives you. And the quarterbacks did a great job taking what the defense was giving them in terms of the dump-offs. They were letting things open underneath, so why not just take it? And the Steelers did. So that's why the Steelers offense was able to actually put up 34 points. Not doing anything unnecessary, making bad throws, and making incomplete passes trying to force stuff. No, they just took everything easy and won the game. Easy. And the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, on the other hand, they're able to do a lot of good things as well. In terms of, hey, you look at James Pierre taking over for Darius Slay in the starting cornerback room. He was able to lock up Ja'Marr Chase, whoever he was on. Ja'Marr Chase was locked up. You look at Joey Porter Jr., not that many flags. Probably 0, actually, from what I remember. So Joey Porter Jr. was able to do his job as well. No penalties. That's a success. And then you look at players like Patrick Queen leading them in tackles. That's what you want from your linebacker spots. You look at Duggar, who just came over from the Patriots in a trade, getting a pick 6. That contributes a lot to the Pittsburgh Steelers and what they want to do on the defense side of the ball in terms of creating turnovers and creating points off of turnovers. So that's a success. And then you look at what the Pittsburgh Steelers were able to get from Nick Herbig in terms of getting the sack. He was able to put up the 1 sack. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, they just did a really good job just all together on the defense side of the ball, and they didn't let anything big in terms of yardage up. Yes, they let up the 1 touchdown on the very first drive to T. Higgins, which was a deep shot by Joe Flacco, and you don't want that to happen. And that was right after the Pittsburgh Steelers scored on their opening drive, so you never want that. But ever since that time, ever since that first touchdown, what did the Bengals do after that? 2 field goals? They did nothing. So the Pittsburgh Steelers were able to actually stop the Bengals and Joe Flacco for the first time in a while. You look at the last time they played, Bengals dominated in terms of what their offense was able to do against this defense. And the defense looked like trash. So the second time around, you got to fix some stuff. You got to switch the scheme up a little bit. And the Steelers did that. They played a lot of zone early and then played man-to-man late. So the Steelers' scheme was a little bit better than it was last time. And also, it seems like Joe Flacco just always beats the Steelers wherever he is, whether that's the Ravens, the Colts for one game, or even the Bengals. It just seems as though Joe Flacco just has the number of the Steelers. So the Steelers were actually able to look back on everything that Joe Flacco has done against them and be like, hey, this is how we stop you. And they're actually able to do it. So the defense did a really good job and everybody stepped up. And that's even James Pierre, who was on short notice in terms of the starter. That's a big shout out that wasn't mentioned in the breakdown, but James Pierre was a big reason why the Pittsburgh Steelers shut down the wide receivers of Ja'Marr Chase, T. Higgins, and everyone else. That's a high-flying offense in terms of the Bengals, with also Chase Brown, and they scored a lot of points. Joe Flacco almost put 500 yards last time they played, and the Steelers were able to shut that down. So, shout out to James Pierre, shout out to the cornerbacks, and just the defense altogether for doing their job. So, the Steelers win this game 34-12, and they absolutely destroy the Cincinnati Bengals and basically shut down all hopes of them making the playoffs. Even though Joe Burrow has returned to practice, if the Bengals were able to stay afloat a little bit, maybe he returns and they have a chance to make the playoffs and make a run. Who knows? But you need games like this where the Bengals lose, where it shuts down their dreams and hopes of making the playoffs and a Joe Burrow return, which can maybe prosper them, because now it's a little bit too late for them to make that run. It won't matter because now they have 7 losses. And unless they go perfect all the way out and close the whole season on a win streak, the Pittsburgh Steelers close that book on this season for the Bengals. And they obviously keep their playoff hopes alive as they are atop of the AFC North with the Ravens games coming up. So the Steelers destroy the Cincinnati Bengals 34-12. Their offense destroying the Cincinnati Bengals defense, and the Steelers defense destroying the Cincinnati Bengals offense. And these were the real reasons why in this video. So, once again, if you like this breakdown, it was done by Brian Baldwinger, Baldy NFL is his handle on X. Go ahead and check him out. Give him a follow. Former NFL player, now turned analysis, does a great job breaking down all game film and on players as well. So stay updated with him for all coverage around the entire NFL, not just the Steelers. And also subscribe to this channel for all the Steelers highlights and analysis just like this, posted weekly. And all updates as well with all the news. So this is the best spot for your Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel with notifications on. And until the next video tomorrow, I'll see you guys all later. That's it for me. I'm out. Peace.